Hello, YouTube. We are back for another upload in relation to Saucedogcomics. X-Men #1. Okay, so what are we going to do today? What I would like to do today is make the holes for the book. So I would like to make the holes for the book for the staples. I don't have a lot of things planned, meaning where I did not think of the steps that I'm going to do for the upload. I am just going to do it Jerry the Jitterbug style, and I am going to fly from the seat of my pants. What does that mean? When I do these books, I think of different ways to do things. Now, I review all the comments that my followers leave on the channel, and I appreciate it. I truly do. And there's times that people do suggest things, and I pay attention to suggestions. And one of the suggestions that I'm going to pay attention to was Lost in Wallace. He told me some time ago when I was doing staples that I should do one at a time and secure the one staple. So I think I'm going to do that. And then Peter Alici, he says that he installs staples the way I do, or I have in the past. And the way I did it on many books was I would make the holes and I would insert the staples or the pages one page at a time. But that method, it's not the easiest method if you are doing it when the pages are folded. Because if you're doing it when it's laid flat, you can do it because you can just rest one page and then put the other page and then put the other page. But when it's folded, it's completely different. And as everyone knows, when you're doing the leaf casting, you have to round the spine. It's hard to do it when the staples are installed. So here we go. We got the staple that came out pretty well. I'm liking the way it looks. It's not shiny. The rust is removed. So I'm happy with the way it came out. And I think we're good to go to use these staples. Are they shiny, bright? No. But it achieved its goal. And do you see what I'm doing now with just rubbing it with my fingers and my fingernails? That's what I did to the staples periodically. The staples were in the vinegar bath for about 30 hours, okay? And periodically I would inspect it, I would check them out, and I was happy with the results. And I am happy with the results. I think we're in good shape right now. So what I want to do is I want to clean out the bottom plastic tub that I have the tape on, because I still want to keep the staples separated. I do not want to mix them up. I want to keep the top in the top position, and I want to keep the bottom in the bottom position. Now, Gray Man, I believe I recall, he asked the question, does it matter? Since you're conserving it, does it matter if you are putting the top staple in the bottom and vice versa? And my answer is yes, it does, Gray Man, because the staples that I'm using did come from the X-Men interior. So if it came from the interior, hopefully there are some pages in the interior that will have the markings for the holes. And I want to try to match it up as best as possible, because as I said in the earlier upload, or the one prior to this one, not all staples are the same. So if we take out my micro measurement ruler, which I don't have, But we'll just, by way of example, we'll use a straight edge and we'll use metric. So the prongs on this one are approximately whatever. So it's looking like 10.5 or 10.5 minus 1, whatever that means. And then let's see if this one is similar. And yes, to be honest, they're very similar. 10.5 minus 1 in metric. Metric is European. So it's a lot easier to use. I don't know why we don't use metric. Okay, so we're going to put the staples in their position. And I'm going to put it to the side. And guys, this may be and you know, I always say this, a boring upload, because we're doing the final touches. The final touches and the final little tasks that you have to do in order to finish a book. And it's necessary. So what I'm doing is cleaning off my workstation, making sure there's nothing there. Want to make sure my hands are nice. I'm going to have a sip of beer. Excuse me for a second. It's Friday night when I'm filming this. Friday night, fun, fun, fun. I'm home alone and I'm working on comics. So that's a cool thing. So what we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to shut the camera because I want to get the interior of the book. So stay tuned. Okay, guys, we're back with the interior of the X-Men #1. This is the first page, obviously. Look at Iceman. He has boots. It must be cold in there. So we did a lot of work on this interior. And let's thumb through it. Because what I want to do is I want to get to the centerfold. Because when we get to the centerfold, we are going to check it out and we're going to see if we are able to identify the prior holes of where the staples were. Because I'm going to use the centerfold as a template. And here we go. This is the centerfold right here. And I can see that the holes are still there. So that's good. So I'm going to put it to the side, okay? The centerfold is going to be our template. And what the heck are you talking about, Jerry the Jitterbug? Well, I'll show you. I'm going to put this to the side, and I'm going to grab something that I haven't used in a while. But let's take it out and let's see what we can do here. This is just a regular tub, as you can see. And what I want to do is I want to take out a dowel that I have. And we're going to put the dowel inside. And I've used this before, guys, if you recall. I'm sure you have. And what I then want to do is we're going to take the interior of the book and I'm going to open it up to the centerfold that is existing without the centerfold. So it's going to be the page that is next to the centerfold, okay? And let me find it. I'm going to do it off camera because my failing eyes getting old. I'm 51 years old, if anyone wants to know. That's my age. So I want to line the top. I want to line the bottom up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this and we're going to hang it on my dowel, just like this. And I want to make sure everything's lined up nicely, just like that. And I'm going to put a little pressure down on it, okay? And I just want to make sure that we're in good shape. And I think we are. Then what I want to do is I want to take the centerfold, and we're going to put the centerfold over the first page. What madness is going on here? Well, I'll show you. We're going to put the centerfold over. We're going to press it down. I'm going to make sure everything is nice and tight. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out, I have a pin. And I like to use this pin right here because it has a top. And then I'm going to push down delicately. I'm going to make sure the top is lined up nicely. And then we're going to find the staple holes. Here is the bottom staple holes, which are more visible. And I'm going to go straight through to the wood. Right there. Okay? Hopefully that's good. Now what I want to do is I want to get the bottom staple, and I just want to do a little test. I want to insert the bottom staple in the hole that I made, just like this. Okay. And then I'm going to try to line up the top, because I want to make a mark where it's going to go. And it's right here. So I made a little pinhole in it, and we're going to be good. So what I want to do now is I want to press down, and I want to go through to the wood, and I can feel it. So here's your bottom staple hole. Okay. So what I want to do next is I want to do some scientific measurements, and we're going to use metric again. And I want to measure the hole, which is, it's 70. Okay. 70 metrics, whatever you call those things. So I want to go on the reverse now, because I want the staples to be the same on the top and the bottom. So we're talking right here is 70. So I'm just going to make a little prick so I know where the hole is, right here. And I'm going to push down, and I'm going to go to the wood, just like I did. Okay? So hopefully these pricks are going straight through the pricks of the pin. And I want to do the same thing with the top, just like this. And I want to try to get a measurement where the other hole should be. And I'm sure this is very exciting for the people at home watching this. I hope it is. But this is all necessary stuff in the conservation world. It's necessary, and it has to be done. If it's not done, how are we going to get our staples in? So there's your holes right there. Hopefully they transferred through. I hope they did. And we're going to find out right now, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to try to put my finger through, and I'm going to rest my finger on the crease, and I'm going to see if I can get it through, and we're going to see if it made it all the way through. And I do feel it, and I'm happy with that. And let's do the next one and make sure it goes through as well. I just want to make sure I have everything lined up, and I think we're in good shape. So what I want to do is I want to take the centerfold out, okay, put it to the side, and I want to see if I was able to penetrate, which I did, and I'm happy with the penetration. And I know this is off camera, but I'm pretty good with it. So what I want to do is I want to move this away for a second. We're going to lay this down, and we're going to open it up, and we're going to put the centerfold back in its place. And I'm going to check it out, and we're going to see if I am successful in getting the holes, and it sure looks like we're pretty good. We're pretty good. Let's rest this now and put the centerfold back. Let me see if the holes came through. We're pretty good with those holes as well. So I'm very happy with the results. Let's connect it. Let's get it together. I have the holes all lined up, and that's nice. Now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make the holes on the cover. So stay tuned. Let me take the cover out, and we'll get going with that. So give me a second. Okay, guys, we're back. I have the cover hanging with the leaf casted spine, just like that. I'm very happy with the way the leaf casted spine came out. When I do these books, it's very emotional, and that may sound a little like, emotional? What are you talking about, Jerry? Well, I'll tell you why. The reason why it's emotional, because there's so much going on, and there's so many things that you have to do on the book that sometimes you lose the big picture. You're leaf casting pages, you're leaf casting covers. There's just a lot going on. And in order to be happy, you're not going to get 100%. You have to realize that there are times that things are not going to be 100%. But I have to be right back because I have to grab something, so hang loose. Okay, guys, I'm sorry for the distraction. So, as I was saying, it's a lot to do in doing one of these books, especially a full conservation. And it's not that everything will turn out perfect, because like I said, you're dealing with paper, but you try to do your best, and you try to be conscious about what you're doing and really take your time. But sometimes the paper does not agree. It doesn't. And you have to, like I said, try to do your best. And that's all you can do in life, guys. Do your best. So what I want to do now is we just put the holes in the cover. Okay? I'm pretty happy with them. They're pretty good. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to take the splash page and I'm going to put it to the side. What I want to do also is I want to mark, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I want to mark where the holes of the staples are, and I'll show you why. Also, what I want to do is I want to put tape here. Let's put a smaller piece of tape right here, because I want to put the cover on the spindle in the same place, and I'll show you why. So we'll put a piece of tape there. I'm going to wrap it, and then we're going to put a piece of tape right here. Now, guys, I'm doing this off the cuff right now. I'm thinking as I am going. And you have to understand that when I do these books, although I have a lot of different ways I do things, I change them up. Okay, it's not something that is the same way every way. No, I change it up sometimes because things pop in my head when I'm doing it. So what I want to do is I'm going to do this off camera, but I'll talk to you because I have a little workbench to the side on top of Big Bertha, I want to move the cover over to the other workbench. So we're going to take it and I'm going to move it over just like this. And then what I want to do is I want to take some absorbing. You see this stuff? We all know what this is, right? And you might be saying, what is he going to be doing with this absorbing? A little crazy, isn't it? Well, I'll show you. I want to put a little layer of absorbing on the spindle. Just like this. Okay. And I want to put it on the other area where the staples go. Just like this. Let's take a little less. And I'll show you why I'm going to do this. And hopefully it doesn't fail. But if it does, we'll fix it. Okay. So we have 2 pieces of absorbing on the spindle. Let me wipe my hands, get the residue off. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take the interior of the book, and I'm trying to get it to the centerfold off to the side, and I'm going to put the interior over the spindle just like this on top of the absorbing. Okay, we're going to get it down like that. Okay, I want to make sure the pages are nice and tight. Let's see if I can open it up a little bit more. Be delicate. There you go. And then I'm going to do the same here. And we're going to make sure everything is nice and flat. Okay, now what I want to do is I'm going to take the cover off to the side right now. And I'm going to drape it over the interior, just like this. And I want to get it right where my marks were, where I had it. Good. Now I'm going to take my top staple, make sure it looks fine, and I'm going to try to insert it into the holes. And let's see if I can get it down into the book, into the absorbing. Now, I'm not liking the way it's going in. So what we're going to do is I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to remove the cover delicately, just like that. And I think we're going to do phase 2. Let me take the interior out. Okay, just like that. I don't like the absorbing. I'm not digging it. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove it. And I knew this would be a long upload because I'm testing different things out right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few of the wraps. We're not going to do the whole book. I'm going to take a few of the wraps, just like this, and we're going to put it onto the spindle without the absorbing, just like that. Okay? Just like that. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to scrap this whole thing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to do different methods on camera, and I'm not liking the way I'm doing it. And I'm just going to stop the camera for a second, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. The various methods that I'm using in order to put the staples in are not working. And that's why this is Think As You Go. The book, I don't want to manipulate too much. If it was a golden age book, I can, but I don't want to manipulate this book too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten it out so slightly. And we're going to do it my old method that Peter Alici uses, where I'm going to do one page at a time. So I'm going to flatten out the cover, and I'm going to flatten out the interior with keeping a little space on my glass. It's not going to completely compress it, okay? But I want to flatten it out a little bit delicately, and we're going to then put the staples in one at a time, and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. So we're going to stop this upload, but this is the best way that I can do it. The other methods, I just don't like the way it's going. So we're going to do it this method, and I'll show you once it's smoothed out a little bit or flattened out, not too long. Probably I can do it right now. If I take it, that's flat enough. But I'm just going to do it a little bit longer just to get it down. The rounding of the spine is going to still be there. And we're going to do it from the reverse, putting the staples on, and it's going to be a lot better. So I'm going to... Okay, guys, we're back. As you can see, I have the cover laying front ways on my pad, and the staples are sticking out. And what I did was I put a little drop of methyl cellulose at each one of the staple holes with the staples sticking out. And I've done this in the past with various books that I worked on. And I like to do it because it will reinforce the staple holes as well as helping keep the staples erect, because that's what we want to do. So that's almost dry, the methyl cellulose. We're going to let it dry naturally. And once that's dry, I will get going, and we will try to put in one staple at a time, or one page at a time. I take that back. Maybe I'll be a little radical, and I'll try to put two at a time to speed up the process. So stay tuned. And okay, guys, we're back. And I'm sorry I didn't show me putting on the first page, but we got the first wrap on. Here's all the staple prongs coming through. Now, I have to be honest, the reason why I did not show it is because there's a lot of manipulation that I have to do, and I don't want you to see the back of my head, because what fun is that? I have to turn the pad, I have to get low, I have to go on my side. So I am going to do one page at a time. And I'm going to go back, at least for the Silver Age, to my original method of how I used to do it. In addition, each page that I do, I also want to put a little dot of methyl cellulose at the hole, just to reinforce it, because this is a conserved book. The important thing that you have to do is you have to make sure that if you're going to do this, that the methyl cellulose dries between each application, because the pages will stick. So you have to be careful. And if you're going to do this, you want to make sure that it definitely dries before you put the next page. So I'll do this each page. I'll let it dry for about 10 minutes. Maybe I'll take my hair dryer and blow very low warm air on it. just to make it dry, because we don't want to put methyl cellulose between each page, and then what will happen is the pages will stick. Although we can take the pages apart if we wanted to, but we don't want to add water because these books are like gremlins. You add water, you're going to have trouble. So I am going to put each staple in, or each page in, then we're going to secure the prongs. And I use my fingers when I secure the prongs. It's nothing serious, nothing major, very simple, just using God's tools. And it will be a slow process, and I'll continue this. And then next upload, I'll show you it put together. And then we'll do a prediction, and we'll get it off to CGC, and hopefully we get our conserved grade. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you stopping by, and stay